Good afternoon, viewers and subscribers. Today we are in the mountains, right? So we have left the cities and we have come to the mountain. We are now on the mountaintop. We are 3,200 meters above sea level. And we are in Mount Entoto. As you could see, the beautiful mountain ranges to my right. And you could see developments in the distance, showcasing some of the skyscrapers of Ethiopia. It's lovely and quite cold up here, to be honest, but that's what we would expect being in the mountains. So this mountain, in terms of a little bit of historical context before I let you enjoy the lovely views, it was actually first brought to fame by Emperor Emelech, which is one of the most famous emperors in Ethiopia. He is from the Solomon dynasty. As for people who have been following my series and coverage of Ethiopia, so is related to Haile Selassie, and he's also related to the Queen of Sheba, who, for biblical scholars, know that she was from Ethiopia. She visited Israel. She had a child for the king, and that child was also called Emelech. So this one is Emelech II. He, I suppose, would have been the original Emelech, I suppose. But yes, he actually brought this mountain to prominence. He built a lot of churches here and, places of worship. He was a Christian, and so this mountain is considered to be one of the sacred sites in Ethiopia. So I'm going to share with you some of the views as I walk around in the park. As you could see, some herders there with their donkeys, walking with the donkeys carrying a fair bit of load in the mountains. So I suppose these people would be residents of the mountains. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing that with you, giving you some more insights in the mountains as we showcase some of the finer views that the mountains have got to offer. We are here in Addis Ababa. Again, we are coming to our second site for this afternoon, and we are here at the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Addis Ababa. As you can see, this beautiful building is currently under construction. I think they are doing some maintenance work, but there are still a lot of people here some people have come to pray, some people have just come to look at the building. This building is very significant in the life and culture of Ethiopia. And so we are going to be taking a tour of the building, around the building as well, looking at its significance in Ethiopian culture, as well as the role that people like the Emperor Haile Selassie, the role that he played here, some of the obstacles and challenges that they face when building this church. So it's a fascinating building. It plays a great role, like I said. It's one of the more important buildings in Ethiopia. I'm here with Amias, and he's going to be joining me on the walk around. We're not going to be doing a lot of talking because we want you to look and see some of the architectural aspect of it. But he will give you some little bit of history as well as we go around the building.
Thank you very much for giving me this chance to explain about the cathedral. So this church actually built by His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassies I. Upon the second year of his coronation, first he established this church in 1931, and the construction went on up to in 1936. So during 1936, the church it was disrupted because of its Italian occupation.
So 1936 was the stone?
Yes, it was discontinued because of Italian occupation.
All right, okay.
So during that time, the king, he exiled in England. He spent 5 years in England. So after he came back from England, the construction continued again and was completed in 1944. So while the king, he built this church to dedicate the one who sacrificed their lives during the battles. Our patriot to commemorate, and not only our patriot, even including the British officer. So the king, the one who built this church, he buried it inside the church, and also not only he buried, his wife also buried inside.
So they are buried, is the king and his wife, they are buried inside this building?
Yes, there are inside the church, yes, there are two tombs. One is for King Haile Selassie, and the other one was also for his wife. They buried inside, but he is outside the church.
Yes. So let me just confirm something. Are you saying Haile Selassie is buried inside the building?
Yeah.
Okay, I was not aware of that, so you have opened my eyes to something new.
Yeah, they're buried inside. There are two tombs inside. One is for King Haile Selassie, another one his wife. And in the churchyards also, outside the churchyards also, we can see a lot of monument and cemetery for a very famous and a very popular people. So now we are going to see the other part of the church.
Okay. Let them see you and say hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Now I will show you outside. Outside, as I told you before, in the churchyards there are a lot of monument and cemetery for a very famous people. For example, this person, he was an archbishop. He was a third patriarch for Ethiopian Orthodox. His name was his Holiness Abuna Takla Haimanoth. So we said him also. He was a fourth, but now his cemetery is already covered up. But after a few months, it will be opened. So
this is tomb right here.
Yes, this is the fourth, and this is the third patriarch for Ethiopian Orthodox.
Okay.
So now I'll show you also another monument for Sylvia Pancras and Richard Pancras. This is a monument of Sylvia Pancras and Richard Pancras. Sylvia Pancras, actually, during her time, she was a companion of women's rights, and she was born in Manchester, 5 May in 1882, and she died in Addis Ababa, 20 September 1960. And also Richard Pancras, he was also her son, and born London, 3 December 1927, died Addis Ababa, 60 February 2017.
So let me just ask you something then. So they are from England. These are English people.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are right.
And what role did they play in Ethiopia?
That's a good question. First, why Sylvia Pancras she buried in this cathedral because of Haile Selassie.
Okay.
As I told you before, when Emperor Haile Selassie, when he established the church, when the church disrupted by the Italian occupation during 1936, he went to England and he met her in England, and he invited her to live in Addis Ababa. On the way, she accepted his invitations. On the way, she died in Addis Ababa.
Oh, she died here. Okay.
Yes, and during her time, she was a companion of women right in the world, and also she wrote a lot of things about Ethiopian history.
Okay.
During the Ethiopian war, the war between Italian and Ethiopian.
Okay.
So her son also, he was a professor, where with the palace of Emperor Haile Selassie, one of the university in Addis Ababa, where was the palace for Emperor Haile Selassie. So he was a great professor, and also he wrote a lot of things about Ethiopian history. And
so they came to Ethiopia and they fell in love with Ethiopian state.
Yes, her son also, he lived in Addis Ababa more than 50 years.
Wow, okay.
So he has also many children, and they are living in Addis also. See, they are still living in Addis.
Wow.
So Sylvia Pancras and Richard Pancras, they were very important for our country.
Yes. So what do we have here?
So now we are going to show you the four gospel writers of Jesus Christ. So this monument, it is represent Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John represent.
Okay.
And there's also the front also the biggest archangels Michael and Gabriel, that one.
So this one is Michael.
Yes.
Okay.
And the second one also Gabriel.
And this is Gabriel.
Biggest archangels, the four biggest archangels. And the third one is also Raphael and Uriah, the third one. I mean the four.
Where's Raphael? That little one there.
The fourth one, yeah.
Okay. So tell me about this plaque here. What do we have here?
This is the church explanation about the history of the church. So when the church built, who built this church. So this is the most important thing.
Okay, so it says His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie the first Emperor of Ethiopia, upon the second year of his coronation, laid the cornerstone of Addis Ababa Church. Okay, so we got a little bit of that. I give a close-up. Right, so tell me about this one.
So here are the past but the living legends. Most of them were patriots who sacrificed their lives during the battles between Ethiopians and Italians. So they were the one who fighting the Italians.
So this is to honor is it one soldier or many soldiers?
Many soldiers.
Many soldiers who fought in the battle against the Italians.
Yeah.
Okay, if we get a closer look, we could see the crossed swords. And we have got guns here. Okay, so is there anything you could share about the battle? What started it? Why were the Italians attacking the Ethiopians? What was going on?
So the Italians, if you remember at the World War, so the Italians,
World War,
the World War, yes, most of the Europeans, they distributed to occupy the African country. So Ethiopia was one of the country, not colonized but occupied by Italians. So the Italians, they were Eritrea and they were also Somalia part during that time.
So the Italians were in Eritrea,
yes,
and they were in Somalia.
Somalia, yeah,
Right.
So
these are two surrounding countries, adjoining countries to Ethiopia.
yes, but
Right.
but they were the one who tried to colonize, but they were only occupied, not colonized. We Ethiopians we have never been colonized by any European country. We are the first country not colonized. But
First country in Africa never to be colonized by European countries.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I suppose this history, Ethiopians are very proud of this history. They know that. I could see a flag here as well.
Yes, maybe if I add something for the portrait, but the Italians actually they were trying to as I told you before, they were trying two times to colonize. One was during in 1896. It was a big battle in African history, the Battle of Adwa.
Right.
So during that time, our king he was a King Menelik, the one who fighting the Italians during the first time.
Okay, so let me get that. So the first battle was in 1896.
Yeah.
What was the name of that battle?
The Battle of Adwa.
The Battle of Adwa.
Yes.
And that was led by King
Menelik.
Menelik
Okay.
II. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we have been hearing about him quite a lot, right?
Yeah, yes.
Tell me, what about the second battle?
There was a second battle after the Italians. After in 1896 they came again during 1931 up to 1944. So they were occupied for 5 years during Emperor Haile Selassies
So they came back again in 1931
up to 1944.
to 1944.
Yes.
So isn't that 13 years?
Not.
Oh, they were fighting for 13 years,
Yes.
but they occupied for about 5 years.
Yes, you are.
Okay. But the country was never fully colonized by them.
Yes.
Right. So they occupied part of it, but it was never brought under their control.
You are.
Okay.
As we went inside the Holy Trinity Cathedral, we witnessed the tomb of Haile Selassie and his wife Menen Asfa.
So we're now at the great emperor's tomb, Emperor Haile Selassie I. We've got his tomb. Is this one his tomb?
Yes.
Yes. So we could get a little bit closer. It's a bit dark in here. As you could see, am I allowed over here?
Yeah.
Okay. It's well carved out. So just for you to get a little bit more of the splendor of the tomb, we just keep going around here.
So these are the tombs for King Haile Selassie and his wife Empress Menen. So his Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, he died in 1975, and also his wife also she died in 1962. So Emperor Haile Selassie, he was the last emperor, and he was 225th emperor. So after him, we Ethiopians, we have no more kings. He was the last. So he was a great emperor for this country. So these are also the tombs for his wife. Her name was Empress Menen. So she was a wife of Emperor Haile Selassie. So she died in 1962.
So she died in 1962.
Yes.
What was her name? So
Empress Menen.
Empress Menen. Okay. And as you can see, we've got the crown here for the queen. Yeah. And on that one, we had the crown for King
Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie.
So the tombs are represent three sides of the country. Represent.
Right.
Tombs, yes. Sure. So the tombs are represent three sides of the country. One is it represents the actual obelisk. They have a big obelisk in the northern part. So it represents one of the obelisks. And the second one also the rocky one church of Lalibela. We have an amazing church in the north, built by King Lalibela during 11th and 12th century. So it is represent one of the rock church of Lalibela, Beit Medanal. And the third one also lies the Lion Feast, the Lion of Judah represent.
So these legs?
Yes, the Lion of Judah.
Okay.
The Lion Feast represents.
Okay, so these are actually the lion's feet. Okay, let me just get a bit closer so we can see the lion's feet.
These are the lion feet.
So we've got some more lion's feet here, represented the Lion of Judah.
This is the initial name of Emperor Haile Selassie in our language. Haile Selassie means the power of the Trinity.
Power of the Trinity.
But before he baptized in Ethiopian Orthodox, his name was Rastafari. Yes, but after he baptized in Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity, he changed his name, Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie. Selassie means in our language the Trinity.
So Selassie means the Trinity.
Trinity, yeah. Okay. So he had the name for the Trinity.
So Selassie means Trinity, and so Haile Selassie means the Holy Trinity.
Yes, yeah.
That's it. Okay, got it. What does the long hair represent in Ethiopia?
Rastafarian.
Nice. I hear it's a warrior symbol, like fighters would wear Rastafarian hair.
Yes,
yeah?
Yes,
Dreadlocks.
Yes, they were the one who made their head dreadlock also.
With the fighters, so it's a warrior
they
thing.
made
Okay.
their head dreadlock.
Right. Yours is nice and long though. Very nice.
Very much. Thank you.
So, that's for today's episode. Join us as in the next video as we go to Sheshimen and dive deeper into the Jamaica and Ethiopia connection, where we meet and interview some real Jamaican Rastas living the life in glorious Ethiopia.